Hello everybody, Bekka here. Today we're going elderberry hunting, so let's get started. So today I am going to go do some wild crafting for elderberry. So I am going to bring you along. And what we need for this is some sort of cutting tool. So I have my pruners and then a bag. I'm hoping to get some elderberries and then also some clippings to be able to make some more elderberry bushes here at the house. So I will see you on the first find. Here we go. This is a perfect example of what elderberry is going to look like in the wild. You can see the scraggly bushes. Well, that's all elderberry stem. So the leaves drop off and the plant down at the bottom is going to be more bare, and then you can see at the end the new leaves. Those are the elderberry leaves, and that's where the berries grow. So as you can see, all this purple throughout the bush, those are elderberry clusters. Now these particular clusters, they've lost a lot of their berries, probably because of the wildlife around here, and that's okay. But we're going to clip off the clusters and stick them in my bag. Here's one example to look out for. I'm hoping you can see it. Yeah. You see where you have the dark berries and you have the green berries, and it's about half and half? That is not quite ready. The green berries you don't want, so I'm going to leave that one there. But you can see that the darker berries, there's not very many on the bundle there, but I'm going to go ahead and pick those. And then I'm going to see if I can get to that one right there. These plants like growing in sunny portions of the wooded area. So as you can see, we've got trees all up along there, but the elderberry is kind of growing in the protection of the wooded area itself, but out in the open. So it is direct sunlight, and there's one, let's see if I can point to it, one right there. That is beautiful, but I don't think I can get to it. I'm standing in the at the edge of a briar patch that has some, let's see, there is some wild grape right about there. I don't know if you can see the leaf. And then there's dewberry vine there. And I did actually see some briar vine up in this. So I'm just not so keen of climbing up in that stuff. So I'm going to leave that for the wildlife. You can see the green berries you don't want. You want the black berries. You want this whole clump to be black, or mostly black before you pick it, because the green berries, they'll upset your stomach. And they're not medicinal. But there you go. There's elderberry. Let me see if I can find some flowers here. Oh, there's an elderberry flower. That's what the flowers look like next to the berries. But these are really easy to root as well. So this is the tip of the elderberry. And if you go down to the leaves that cross each other, you can see, I'm hoping, my camera doesn't want to play along. There we go. You can see in between the leaf and the shoot going up, that is the start of a root. So if you actually cut this right about where my fingers are, you can take these leaves off and stick this in a little bit of rooting compound and in some moist soil and keep it watered, and bam, you will have rooted elderberry. It's just that easy. My bag is full of all sorts of berries and clippings. So now it's time to go to the house and process this all. So let's head that direction. All right, now I'm back at the house and I have a bowl. I have a cup of water. And you will want, if you have chlorine water, you want to make sure that you have it filtered. So this is filtered water. And then I have my clippers and a bag. So what I'm going to do, like I mentioned outside while I was searching, I clipped the plants because I want to grow some more here at the house. So I clipped it down to where I have some greenery. Clip right here, and then I'm going to take these leaves off and make sure that this gets submerged in water. And I'm putting in water for now until I get out into the garden this afternoon and put them in soil. But as you can see, this has only been cut not even 15 minutes, and you can see that it's starting to wilt. So getting it in water now is imperative. So that's what I'm doing with this at the moment, is I am clipping it, but I am clipping it and then peeling off the leaves. And I can even peel off these, those aren't really necessary, and then stick it in the water. And then my berry bunch, I am going to clip these and put them in the bag because I put it in the freezer. When your berries are ripe, a lot of times when you're trying to pick them off one by one, you squash them and then you get them all over your hands. You start to drop them all over the kitchen. But I have found over the years the best thing is to put them in the freezer. So I'm going to start processing these, and we'll see what we can find out of it. And the elderberry is a great plant to have around. Like I said, it grows it grows so easily. And the flowers are beneficial as well. You can make a nice little cordial out of the flowers when they produce, and the flowers are medicinal. But I usually leave the flowers on the plant for the berries. And in case you didn't know, elderberry has been widely studied, and it has been found that elderberries are great for your immune system to ward off illness in the wintertime, whether that is cold or flu. So of course it's a great plant to have. And I had planted quite a bit. Oh, look at there. I brought home some honeysuckle. So I'll try to root that as well to see if I can grow some honeysuckle plant. But where was I going? We have used here. Oh no, that's just a vine from somebody else. But I had grown quite a bit of elderberry in the past, but it was young plant that I had rooted, and then we flooded, and of course the flood had killed it all. So now I'm trying to regrow my elderberry stock, so I don't have to go necessarily go out and wildcraft it everywhere, which elderberry grows in all sorts of forest conditions. You'll find it quite a bit, like I had already said earlier in the video. You'll find it in like edges of fields, in the beginning or the tree line of a treed area. It does like a lot of sunshine, but it seems to grow best when protected by trees. But of course, that might just be a misleading observation, because of course around here we have a lot of cow pasture and things like that, and of course people mow their pastures, so maybe it would do well around here if people didn't mow. But I've never seen it in my field, even when I've allowed my field to grow. It's never been there. But it has grown along my fence line before. All right, I am going to put this in the freezer and clean up my table, and I will be right back. And I will show you the next step. Okay, I have everything cleaned up now. I have another bag in the freezer that I harvested and put in the freezer about a week ago. So today we can go through the next process and taking care of your elderberry. And I do it this way because I find that it's so much easier to peel off the berries when it's frozen. So as you can see, I've got the stems, and this particular one has some green berries on it. So I'm going to try to miss the green berries and just peel off the purple ones. But if you end up getting a green berry in there, pick it out. You don't want them in your concoction. So here's my elderberry, and I do have a few stems in there and a few green berries. So I will sit down this evening and kind of pick through this to get rid of the green berries and the little stems. But there we go. And this particular batch, that's at least 2 large batches of elderberry syrup, or elderberry tonic, however you want to say it. And that is such an easier way than getting the elderberry juice all over the place on trying to do it when they are fresh off the vine instead of freezing them first. Now, as far as storage, with them off the vine in this, I will put them in a Ziploc bag, put them in the deep freeze, and use it throughout the season. Now, if I start getting more than I think I can produce, or I think that I can use for my personal use, then I will take the next step and put it in a dehydrator and dehydrate it on extremely low for longer term storage. But that is the elderberry. Now let's go and plant us some elderberry stalks. All right, well, it's so stinking hot outside that I didn't want to go out there, but I wanted to get this done, so I'll bring the mess inside. That's what I did. So here is the little branches that we created from our elderberry haul. And then I have some little pots that I reused and put light potting mix in there, which this is the compost that I sieved, and I'll leave in the card section to that video if you want to see how I did that. But all you do is you put your mix in your pot, put a hole in it. So you have a little divot in the middle, and then take one of your branches. If I can get it out. All right, here's a branch. And then I have some rooting hormone, which I have played around with rooting hormone and without. And elderberry is just so easy to root that you don't even have to have the hormone. But since I've got it, I might as well use it. So I have the rooting hormone around one of the areas that would have a root spot eventually. And then I will just stick it in the soil, pat around it, and then I'm going to put it in my tray and water everything all at once at the end. And it is simply, it is just that easy to root elderberry. So there's another one. Put a little bit of rooting hormone. I'll stick it down in the soil. This one I'm going to take these leaves off too, just so it gives it a little bit more free space to grow its roots. All right, and then I had saved some of the honeysuckle, so I'm going to root the honeysuckle the same way. It's a fairly easy plant to root as well. And then there we go. Here's another honeysuckle. And I'm going to go get some water. Alright, let's close the hormone up. And then I'm going to put it all in a tray. And let's pray this tray doesn't have a hole in it and it get all over my kitchen. But I'm going to water all the plants. And to make it easier, I'm just going to use this jar to be able to get up into the plants. You want to keep your soil moist while it's rooting, and you don't want it really out in direct sunlight. So on your porch, even in your house really, just places where it's going to get some sun, you know, so don't go put it in your basement, but out of direct sunlight, because the direct sunlight will create too much stress for it and it'll end up dying. And you want to do it that way until it is well rooted. So that is rooting the plants. And just to show you how easy it is, this plant is about 2 months old. And I just used a few leaves and a little bit of mushroom compost. And as you can see, I've got all sorts of roots in the bottom of this. So I'm going to transplant this one from a gallon to a 5-gallon. And it is really easy to do. I just have some compost in the bottom of my bucket. Some is mulch in compost. And then I'm going to take my plant, and I want it to sit up a little higher in the pot. So I'm going to put a little bit of soil in the bottom to set it up a little bit. And this is just that soil that I created out of the free compost of the same video of the card that I put up earlier. And then I brought in a little bit more soil. And it is just that easy. Now with this one, and like I said, this is only about a 2-month-old plant that I rooted the same way as I'm doing these. And you could see that it created its roots really well. And I'm just allowing it to grow into in a bigger pot. And then in the fall, when the heat breaks, I will actually plant this out in my field. And I'll do a video when I end up doing that to show you how to go from a pot to planting it in the ground. And then through the winter, I will be able to maintain it because it won't be so stinking hot. And hopefully it'll be a wet winter and I won't have to water it all that often. But there we go. I've got a larger potted elderberry that was rooted just about 2 months ago and doing extremely well. And I expect to receive the same with these. It is just that easy to play around with rooting elderberry. And I would suggest you doing it yourself if that's something that you are interested in. So leave in the comment section your favorite thing to do with elderberry. I have made elderberry syrup. I keep elderberry tonic in the fridge that I make myself. And I do have a video for that, and I'll leave it in the description section, a link to that particular video. But I have made elderberry wine, and oh, that stuff is way too good. But anyway, there is many things that you can do with elderberry, and the berries itself are good to boost your immune system. But that's all I have for you today, and don't forget to check out the videos that I have at the end of this video to further your education in a detox lifestyle. I will talk to you again soon, and until then, get healthy, be happy, and herbal on!